Okay, here we give another one of our Cookie Ask the Questions. This is Lois Cookie Green from Stuttering to Confidence, which is the most interactive site in the entire stuttering world that I've seen, at least. And I'm Larry Stein, Stein On Stuttering. 10 years ago, I wouldn't be able to say that. So here's our usual format. Cookie comes up with a question. What is this week's question, Cookie?
Okay, Mike. Well, first of all, thank you for these meetings that we are doing, because a lot of people have many questions, and and we like to pick the brain of somebody whose speech is very smooth, and I chose you. So my question today is, how do you deal with up and down days? I call it situational stuttering, where one day you are speaking fluently, and you might even speak fluently for a week or so, and then all of a sudden something comes crashing down, and then you're back into that flow of stuttering again. How do you handle that?
Yes, that used to drive me crazy too. What I would call falling back to square one.
Yes.
Right? So, like all my answers, they're all difficult. I mean, I found everything difficult, but once I got into it, this is all joyful. So let me give you the start. First, psychologically, I felt well, this came a little bit later, but I'll just give it to you now. I felt that if I look at my stuttering as something that happened to me, like I had a good stuttering day, I had a bad stuttering day. And I hear this from people all the time. I had a good day, I had a bad day. It's almost like I'm expecting that stuttering is happening to me rather than it's coming out of my mouth. And I felt, and this was not at the beginning of my work on myself, but this was, kind of midway. Well, not quite midway, but that I had to accept that this is what I'm doing. It's coming out of my mouth. I accept responsibility for it. However it comes out, it's me. It's not something that's happening to me. It's me. And so I take responsibility not only for how I speak, but also that improving my speech was all going to be up to me, whether I did it or not, and to what degree. So that was, I thought, was a really important, if you will, mindset thing that I had to get straight with myself, that this is me. All right, so how did I get past this? That's what you're really asking. And it's really just brute force work. So as I think we've talked about, that I realized one day that I public speak better than I talk. So public speak meant, at that time, I was giving these little 5-minute talks, holding on for dear life, trying not to stutter, to these nonprofit groups. And I realized that, wow, I'm doing that better than I'm talking with people. And so and the only thing I was doing really was just, well, I was doing two things. I was doing one, I was speaking in phrases. And the other thing that I realized later was I was also kind of playing around up there. But first, the phrases. I decided, and this was like in 10 seconds. This is at 9:40 at night after a meeting, that I spoke well, and I just, wow, I speak better when I public speak. What does that mean? At that time, it was that I'm speaking in phrases. And so I decided just I'm literally in a hallway about to open up a door. And I said, I'm going to speak phrase to phrase to phrase. My whole life, that's all I'm focused on, is one phrase. I'm going to take this massive problem I call stuttering, that I cannot figure out, and no one else can, no one else has, no one else will. And I am breaking it down to one phrase at a time. I'm going to live my life one phrase at a time. I actually said those words to myself. And I dedicated myself to speaking in phrases. And then I refined that over a period of months through experiences and watching broadcasters like Matt Lauer and others, that I was going to say, all right, I'm going to breathe, emphasize, phrase. So and that's just basic good speaking. It's nothing I made up. It's just I'm copying from really top speakers, that they take a breath before they speak. They will be expressive. They'll emphasize a word toward the latter part of their phrase. For them, it's to be compelling. For me, I realized that cleaned out my breath, and so that I could end the phrase and take another phrase. I speak phrase to phrase to phrase, breath to breath to breath. What did that do for me?
Yeah.
It made it so that I'm taking things one little tiny step at a time. I'm not caught up in this, good or bad stuttering. I'm caught up in one phrase. And if I stutter in one phrase, big deal. I know I'm going to speak another 1,000 phrases later.
Right.
And I'm changing. And because I went out and I started talking as much as I could with this all the time. It's not something I picked out of my pocket when I thought I was going to have trouble. I decided this is how I'm talking all the time. I'm throwing away how I talk, because that's not getting me anywhere.
Right.
And that's my inconsistency, good day, bad day thing. And I'm doing this all the time. And so by doing that, I took the variability out. I viewed phrases, I'm just speaking one phrase at a time. It doesn't matter what the words are. It doesn't matter what the sounds are. It's a phrase. And so that's how I began to get out of that good day, bad day, and became more consistent. It's not that I became fluent with that. That was just step one. But if I was up and down like that in terms of my stuttering, and believe me, I was, and one little thing would set me off and boom, I'd be back to square one, just like what you're saying. Now the variability was like that. It was much less, because I had a foundation. And the most important thing was I made this automatic. So I didn't have to think about it. And so we were talking earlier before this, and you said, how do you stop thinking about your speech?
Right.
And how you do that is you make it automatic. So I don't have to think about it. I practice this so many times, and I don't know how many times. People always ask me. But, like in the Chinese proverbs or Chinese writings, you'll see 1,000 hours to discipline, 10,000 hours to mastery. I don't know how many hours, but it was a lot. And I did it all the time. I threw away how I talked, and this is how I spoke all the time. And I tried to speak as much as I could so that I could do it. And I began in easy situations, reading to myself, and then talking, reading, talking, reading, talking. So that, before this will sound crazy, but I remember like when in high school, I couldn't read to myself. I couldn't talk to myself out loud.
Right.
I would stutter very heavily. That's how severe I was. Okay, so I've come a long way. And so by practicing in the easiest situation, people tell me, well, I don't stutter with my best friend. Why do I need to use that? You need to do it all the time. So you train your brain that this is how you talk. This is how you react in every situation, so that it's consistent. So you don't have these up and down. This is how you are. Does that make sense?
But like, say that you get in a situation that is highly stressful. Say somebody came and said that they needed for you to do something that felt a little bit intimidating, or something that caught you off guard, or something, or you maybe woke up not feeling well and you had to deliver. Is there any variations to that? Yes, you program yourself to speak in phrases, but does anything ever get you off to, rock your boat or do something that you are expecting at all?
Uh-huh. So I'm in quite a few, high pressure situations in the work I do. I'm in the investment field, and there's some high pressure situations there. Really nothing gets me, public speaking. I do some public speaking. Those kind of situations don't throw me. What does throw me once in a while is when I'm in a foreign country and things are going fast and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know the language. I don't know. And that in those situations, that can sometimes throw me. But here's what I do. And we're only talking about the mechanical stuff. The psychological aspects is a whole other story, and I'll try and answer that. So mechanically, what I do then is what I'm doing right now is I'm speaking in shorter phrases so that I breathe more with more expression. And so the airflow is just flowing. The airflow, it's like a fountain, it's flowing. And there's so much air going on that kind of relaxes you because you have all this oxygen going to your brain. So it naturally relaxes you. I can relax myself if I'm laying in bed. I can get myself super relaxed. But when I'm in a tense situation, I cannot. But what I can do is I can pull the levers of breathing, of expression, of making my phrases short so that the air is constantly moving, and I always put all my focus on the other person.
Good. Yeah.
Because I also, with every conversation, I don't want to focus on myself. That's not enjoying my time. That's not focusing on your speech, and frankly, it's not productive. Just imagine if you're on a steep flight of stairs and you're looking down at every stair, wondering which one you're going to trip on. You're going to trip. So instead, I have two goals for every conversation. One, to enjoy it. Every conversation I want to enjoy. I'm enjoying this one right now. Even if it's a difficult conversation, even if someone's putting pressure on me, I'm going to enjoy diffusing that situation. I'm going to enjoy handling.
Oh, that's key.
I have had situations where I've talked to someone and they're literally dying, and I can't enjoy that in the common sense, but I can get some enjoyment that I'm sharing the moment, I'm being empathetic, that I'm connecting with this person on a very deep level. Enjoyment and giving. What can I give to you? What can I give in that situation? And there's always an opportunity. So when I'm talking to people, I'm not focused on my speech. I'm not focused on how I feel. I'm focused on how can I meet the moment with them? How can I enjoy it? And how can I give? Does that make sense?
Yes, you made perfect sense. That was powerful. I like that. Because enjoying your speech is key. So if you can enjoy every situation or pick out something that you can feel good about, even if somebody catch you off guard, you can jump into a different, you can always handle, a lot of people think, well, when I think a certain type of a way, and if something catches me off, I don't have a plan B. I don't know what to do, and then I start stuttering.
Right.
But if you know how to find joy in every situation, then I can see where that you won't be caught off guard too many times.
Well, I can still be caught off guard. Just to conclude here, I can be caught off guard, and that's okay
Uh-huh.
because I have a zillion hours of practice
Yes.
in how I speak. And so rather than getting defensive and all that, I know from thousands of hours or however many hours and working through situations one by one, and that's another video we should do, working through situations and getting true confidence, the kind that lasts, by going through one situation after another and kind of stealing myself through it. So yes, I can, obviously we're all going to be caught off guard. We're all going to be caught in anxious situations. We're all going to be in all these things. The difference is, how do you handle it? And have you done the work to be able to handle it? And for us as people who stutter, it takes a lot of work. And so why don't we talk about that the next time? I would really look forward to that conversation.
Okay. But anyway, thank you. Thank you for that. That was very powerful. Can't wait.
I really enjoyed it, and hopefully I gave you something.
Yes. Good.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Next time. Can't wait till next week. Okay,
Thank you.
I'll put something out for you.
You
Talk
push me
to
off
you
guard.
Yes.
See you soon. Bye-bye.